Welcome to another episode of Conversations with a Fly Aunt. I am your residential fly aunt, Ebony Ivory, and I'm so excited that you're deciding to spend some more time with me. I have a very fly guest in the building. She's been here before. Introduce yourself to the people, Winifred.
Thank you, Ebony, for having me here. This is Winifred Opare. I've been here before, and I'm happy to be back here today.
All right, let's tell the people a little bit about yourself if they haven't caught our last episode, which we want you to. We talked about, we were debunking African stereotypes.
Okay.
So introduce yourself to the people.
Okay, so I'm Winifred Opare, originally from Ghana and Nigeria. I am a realtor based out here in Georgia, married forever, like I always say, 3 boys, and yeah, I'm happy to be here. I was here the last time we talked about, a bunch of stuff. Some got me in trouble, but today we're here to talk about a whole different stuff. So
hopefully this won't get her in any more trouble. No more pops for Winifred for talking on here. All right, guys. So we are going to jump straight into it. No game today, but we are going to ask Winifred a quick little question. What's on the dinner table for tonight?
Oh, boy. So tonight we're having a mutuo. A mutuo is rice balls.
Okay.
And peanut butter soup.
Peanut butter soup.
Yes.
Oh, that's very interesting. Yes. Okay, peanut butter soup. Yes. Okay, we'll have to talk about that later because that's very interesting to me. Okay, so today we are going to talk about friendships and how to make new friends. Really and truly. So we are ladies of a particular age, okay? I know we look really young and demure and well-preserved here, but we all have times in our lives where we want to expand our friendship circle. So in doing so, that's how I met Winifred in expanding our friendship circle. So the way that I met her was we met on Bumble. So there is a friendship side to Bumble.
A lot of explain.
Yes. People may think it's only like for dating, but there is a friendship side that you can, log onto and switch gears. Like maybe if you get tired of the dating side, you can switch gears and go on the friend side. But I intentionally got on there because I wanted to expand my tribe and open my tribe and just look for new friends because my friends are spread all over the country. And I wanted to have, girls that were local. I am a woman that believes in Black women bonding, Black women friendships. So I was intentional about finding, Black women that had the same core values and beliefs. And I wanted to get out there, put myself out there, because it's my first time doing that as well, put myself out there and meet people. So Winifred, tell us what made you go on the friend side of Bumble. What was your primary reason of going on the friend side?
Okay, so we moved around a lot as a family. We moved from Jersey down to Pooler. Down in Pooler, I had my childhood friend there. She was already there. Shout out to Gifty. And so it was easy because I really had somebody that I was really comfortable with. And then we had to move up here to come in, and I knew no one. I was just talking to my friend back in Jersey. I said, I have no friends out here. It's so hard to meet people. And it was COVID season.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I only knew Bumble to be, I didn't know anything about Bumble, excuse me to say. I only knew it to be like a dating site or whatever. I didn't know that they had a friend side. So somebody told me, go ahead and check it out. You can meet some friends out there locally. So I went on Bumble, I filled the form out, and then voila. I don't know if we swiped right or left or whatever, But we swipe to find each other.
Right. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk about the whole process of even like signing up on Bumble. How long did it take you to like actually go online, fill out the form, and put all of the stuff? Were you like hesitant by the questions that it was asking? Like, this is too much to be trying to find a friend. Like, how did you feel about the sign up process?
It wasn't complicated. It was pretty straightforward. But I think where people might miss is the fact that you have to choose friendship if you're trying to find a friend and not a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Because, girl, I didn't tell you this, but some girls started swiping at me. And the moment I said I was married, they like just vanished. I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, oh, wait, what did I select? I'm not out here looking for a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
Okay, so you swiped on you chose the wrong
one
option.
initially. So I'm over here trying to make a friend like a friend.
Right.
And other people were trying to actually make friends. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, Atlanta is the city.
So, eventually I was like, okay, well, it's my fault, but it's okay.
Okay. So that's a funny story. That is very cute. I love to hear it. So you were getting all these ladies and you're sliding up in your
It was
message?
the ladies, though. It was the ladies.
The ladies. Okay. It was the ladies. Okay, so what were you looking for in your process of, I know you said because you just recently moved around a lot and you just, wanted some friendship, but what were you looking for in a friend?
Honestly, I don't think I set out to specifically say I'm looking for a friend.
Okay.
I think I had in mind, okay, I'm going to network,
Okay.
Especially also for what I do as a profession, as a realtor. It's always good to network. I can't say I'm the best networker on the planet, but, this is a starting point. So, but then you end up meeting people and they are so amazing and they end up becoming your friends. And that's how this happened. Like, okay, well, let me go on there. I don't know anyone out here. Let me see if I can network and meet some ladies, career oriented, because that's what I was actually trying to find. And then I met you and we started talking. I don't even know how this all happened, honestly. It just happened like that.
Our friendship did move very swiftly.
It did.
Her and Michael were looking for a third in their marriage.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. Okay.
Hilarious.
Okay, so no. So as she said, like we both were kind of looking for the same thing. I wanted like go-getter women. For me, Black women friendships are really important to me and myself. That's the core of who I am. I surround myself with incredible Black women, amazing Black women, women of God, spiritual women. So again, I just wanted to open up my tribe. So basically for me, I don't remember either which way you're swiping, right or left. I don't remember either, but I saw her profile, real estate agent, mom, married, and I'm not going to lie, I wanted a friend that was from Africa for some reason. I was like, I was just looking for that. So I was like, let's connect. So we swiped and we kind of like, we messaged, because you can message on the app and stuff like that. Right. So we messaged for a while, but we wanted to like, sometimes like it would be like a little time gap between getting back to one another. Right. So I was like, okay, well, I like you enough. We like each other enough. We're vibing or whatever. She doesn't seem like she's crazy or or depressed, because you have to vet these people, like just like you vet on the dating app. You definitely need to vet even when you're making friends. Right. I had a few ladies that I connected with and matched with, so to speak, and when I began to like talk to them, some of them. You fill in the gaps. You can fill in the gaps.
And it's Atlanta.
So. Yeah, and it's, but some of them you could tell that, I think it's important to understand where you are in life. And I think some of the women would have needed more emotional support than I could provide in that moment.
Right.
I think that's the nicest way to put it. Some of them, were, very busy. I don't think they were really invested in making
An effort.
an effort or making a meaningful connection. Some of them were flaky. We would schedule to meet up and it would be a change of plans. Some of them, I had about 3 that I actually met up with, and we actually went out, and Winifred was one of the 3. So it was like a handful of girls that I was talking to, and 3 I actually went out with and actually enjoyed their company. Like some of them I went out like with 2 or 3 times, but they kind of fell off for whatever reason.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not perfect. It could have very well have been me. Maybe
Right.
I wasn't
What the other person
what the other person thought they wanted as a friend. You got to remember too, we're out of a particular age, and maybe they want something. Everybody's looking for whatever they're looking for,
Right.
and maybe at that time I didn't fit into that mold, and that is perfectly fine. So I'm gonna get into when me and her first our first meetup. This is like the most awkward, weird thing in my life that I've ever been through. But nevertheless, I want to say that this should not deter you from meeting people, because me and her are really, really super, super good friends. And had I let this deter me, I wouldn't get to experience this amazing woman that I'm sitting next to.
Thank you.
So we decided for the first meetup, she's like, okay, it's my birthday. We're going to go out to this lounge, Zona or something like that. Right. I don't really remember. So I'm like, okay, cool, girl, no problem. We're gonna have a meetup. Yeah, this sounds great. So we're getting ready, and she's like, oh, my husband is coming. And I'm like, what?
Threesome right there.
I'm like, am I auditioning for a throuple? Her husband is coming. So she's like, yeah, it's my birthday, whatever, my husband is coming. And I was like, okay, well, maybe this is a part of the African culture. Like her husband has to like vet me out because I'm a single girl.
No.
She's married. So maybe like, he wants to meet me first and like give her the thumbs up. And while you're at it, don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe and give the thumbs up.
Yes.
So I go to the club and we there. I get there, and then her husband and herself, and they arrive, and I'm like, okay, she looks like her pictures, because some of the women don't look like how the pictures that they got posted on their profile, they don't look like that either. So again, you got to be mindful of that when you're looking for new friends. If you're looking for a certain aesthetic to fit into your girl group that you got already, that may not be happening when you meet these people in person, honey.
You're killing me.
I'm just telling you. Mm-hmm. So she looked like her picture or whatever. We met, sat down, we had a booth table, and we were just talking, and it was just for me, it was just like, yeah, it was just a little weird, because it just wasn't what I expected. But her husband, Michael, again, shout out to Michael. He's like a really charismatic guy, a real gentleman. And me and her, we had previous conversations, like, talking about Michael. And she would tell me, she's like, Michael's a really suave, charming guy, girl. Like, I would never know if Michael was anything. People just gravitate to him and really like Michael.
Right.
And so, meeting Michael in person, right, he's exactly what she described to him. And then just like watching them, their chemistry together, I was like, oh, they really are into one another. And I was like, great, they're not looking for a throuple. It just happened. It just happened that they were really just, they're a couple and they moved together, and it was her birthday. So tell me what you thought when we first had our first meetup.
Okay, so honestly, not inviting Michael over, because birthdays for us, we always spend birthdays together as a couple. I cannot, unless one has traveled or whatnot, birthdays is just the two of us. And so it was really normal for me. I didn't really think anything of it until years later you told me how you actually felt that night. I was like, what? So, I thought you were really sweet. I know you tried to cancel when I said Michael was coming. But you should have told me. I didn't know you thought we were trying to add you as a third, But it wasn't like that. I was actually happy. I was like, well, this is my new friend that I've made out here, and I would really love for her to. And honestly, I don't do that. I would never let somebody that I have never met before even join me on my birthday,
True.
let alone
True.
have my husband there.
I get it.
'Cause
Absolutely.
I don't trust nobody.
Right. I
But
get
for
it.
some reason, I was comfortable enough to invite you over. If you had canceled, that would have really broken my heart because you
Oh.
actually pumped me up to do something on that day. Remember?
Yes.
I wasn't really thinking of doing anything. So I was really looking forward to meet you, and you actually look gorgeous in person.
Thank
Even
you.
more than whatever picture you had up on Bumble, and you were
Thank
nicely
you.
dressed, and we had a nice evening. But I hate that you weren't fully, yourself because you had all these things going on in your head.
Right.
And then we were new friends, so you
Right.
couldn't really ask me what,
Right.
Right. But it
Right.
all worked out.
It definitely worked out. So I would just say this too. A part of the friendship thing, as far as with Black women are concerned, I think this is a perfect example of just going a little further outside of your comfort zone and kind of being explorative. Because I feel like had I not given that, had I let that deter me, like, oh, she's bringing her husband, no, I'm not going,
Right.
And just close the door, I would have missed out on an amazing friendship like we have now. So it's like, that's one way, like, to explore to come out your comfort zone. It's a good thing to sometimes, step out of your comfort zone, do things that you would not normally do because you never know what could come of it. And not only that, like I said, and not only this, this is another thing. It was good for me to watch them as a married couple interact and see them celebrating on her birthday. It was good for me to see them in their element having a good time.
Yeah.
And it was seeing how attentive he was to her too. So that was another way for me to observe and get to know this person as well, and kind of get a glimpse into her life, into her world as well. It was a good time. I got to see them dance together a little bit. It was actually a Latin spot, so they were playing some Latin.
It was a live
music.
DJ.
Yeah, it was a live DJ. The service was good, so it was a really, really good night. Right. So that was how we met. I also want to say, since then, Winifred actually became my realtor.
Right.
Sold the first home.
Right.
Purchased the first home, excuse me. And we've been going strong ever since then. It's been 2021, early
2021.
Yeah, early 2021.
We've had a big fight.
Oh,
it was
okay.
bad.
We had a fight. We definitely had a fight, but we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna discuss it. But this is a great thing, I think, because this is kind of why I wanted to have Caribbean based or African women in my circle, right? Because, and I don't have nothing to say that, other people or whatever, but this is what I'm comfortable with. And it's okay for me to be comfortable with a certain layer of individuals, because I'm going to pull you close to me. You know what I'm saying? So anybody knows buying a house is stressful. I just feel like cursing right now, but buying a house is stressful as it is. So, she has her real, she switches from her realtor, her friend hat, and it has on her realtor hat. So I'm gonna let you tell it. Go ahead.
Oh boy. So I'm not gonna go into details, but just to save time, but there was something that Ebony was supposed to do that she didn't think she wanted to do it, but I knew as a realtor that was the best route for us to take. So she started running her mouth and saying, I was like, okay, well, you know what? I'm being the realtor. I'm gonna have to be professional, so I'm not gonna like, but I'm still gonna let her know that, girl, this is how it works. This is how you're supposed to go about this. This is what will help you. And we got at each other's throat, whatever, but later we came back together. She realized that whatever I was saying was actually the truth. It was just not convenient at the moment for the situation. And we apologized to each other and we kept it moving. And she said something. She said, Winnie, if we're still friends after this, then we're never gonna break up. Like, we're gonna be friends. And I actually agreed, because usually I'm like out of the picture after stuff like that. However, I did not base our friendship on just one incident. And I, for one, know how stressful purchasing a home. And she was a first-time home buyer, so I understand. I am very patient with my clients, and she's my friend too. That's where you put the layers on. That's where you give some grace. You understand. This person is sweet. She's a nice person. You love her, but it's just a situation. And there's going to be other situations like that.
Right.
Does that mean y'all kind of walk away from each other, not looking at? And that's what I always say. Don't just walk away from people because of one slip up or whatever,
Right,
because
right.
I'm going to do something that she's not going to like.
Right.
And she's going to look at my good side and decide, okay, if this friendship is worth keeping. And I thought a deal is not enough to come between us.
Right.
So we kind of moved past that. But yeah.
And I think also, too, it was a growing pain in our friendship, too, because that also showed how we can rise above and solve conflict.
Right.
Like, I'm the type of person, I may need to take a step back and just like breathe for like a few hours or something,
Right.
and then she approached me and she was like, "Are you ready to talk now? Are you
Right.
less mad at me now?
Right.
Let's
right.
have this conversation."
Right, because she said, yeah, I'm not going to talk right now, and you went away, right?
Yeah,
Like,
because I'm like a person, I'm a processor, and I don't want to get too far gone. So it's like, let me just take a step back and we have
Right.
this conversation. More so, she's a person like she wants
I
to
wanna
have, she want to
trash
talk,
it
she
out.
want to talk it out right then
now,
and
let's
there.
get it over with and move on.
And that's not me, and that's okay. But as our friendship was grown, this is something that we came to understand. Like,
Right.
we have different communication styles,
Right.
and also moving forward, we have a better foundation of understanding of how to communicate. But at
Right.
the end of the day, she was right about what she was trying to tell me. I am a little stubborn and I am a little bullheaded, and I didn't want to hear it. But with that being said, God was in the midst, and it all worked out.
It
That
did
wasn't
work
even
out.
something we had to look at later on down the line.
Not at all.
Yeah, so and if you know as well, like 2021, the
was
market
crazy.
was like bananas, but it
was.
worked out. She sealed the deal on the purchase, and made it happen. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's like almost 3 years later now.
Yeah, husband. Congrats.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate the how should I put it? What's the word? I do appreciate you giving me that opportunity to serve your family.
Thank you. You're welcome, Booski. You're welcome. She's an amazing realtor, and she does have great customer service. And you see, even though she had to, in a difficult moment, she had to tell me something I did not want to hear, but I needed to hear.
Right.
And yeah, I'm in my home. She
Right.
successfully got us into that property.
Right.
So another thing I want to say too, like most times something like that, and like she kind of touched on a little bit too, something like that would end a friendship, like that kind of blow up that we had. Cause girl, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was yelling because I was real pissy. So I was like, I did not want the avenue that she was talking about going. Like, I'm a person that gets something, I'm very stubborn to a certain degree, and once I have something stuck in my head, there's no wiggle room about it. But I appreciate her so much for coming back and just saying, basically kind of like, you ready now? You ready to have a big girl conversation about what needs to be done? Like, I appreciate you so much for doing that, because that, that shows not only that, just like a level of maturity within yourself. It shows a great deal about your communication. And like she mentioned, like I said, like if we're friends after this, Like, girl, we good for the rest. Because I don't see us having no other issue beyond that, in all honesty, because that was the
Right.
most, when I tell
Right.
y'all, that was the most stressful
Right,
point
it
of my
was.
life. So, we got through that and we made it through that, and it's all good. So let's do this. Let's kind of like switch gears just a little bit. So now that me and you have, we met and we connected, which has been super, super awesome. Have you been able to, have you decided, like, have you been able to connect with anybody else, or, are you going to, like, I don't know if you jump back on Bumble, try to find more friends, or where are you at right now with your friendship?
I actually think I got a Bumble. Excuse me. I think I got a Bumble.
Yeah.
I haven't. Yeah, I didn't go back there.
Same. Same.
So, and I mean, I've met people. I've met Ghanaians. I've met Americans. I've met. But like you say, friendship grows, right? You
Right.
nurture friendships, and
Right.
it grows. And sometimes with you, we just clicked. It
Yes.
just worked out. Sometimes with certain people, you need to take time and nurture the friendship,
Right,
and
right.
that's okay.
Right.
I, for one, do not like rushing into anything, especially friendships,
Right.
because I get really attached.
Yeah.
And then I
Same.
get separation anxiety.
Same. Right.
Remember I told you something about my cousin, do you remember?
Yes.
And I thought this was somebody that was like a sister to me. And so I was excited when we reconnected.
Right.
But again, she's a sweet person, she's a good person, but I think communication was an issue.
Right.
And before we started, you were saying something like, I don't want any friend that I can't say anything without them getting offended and whatever.
Right. Right.
Like me and you, we can say anything.
Right.
We
Right.
can talk about anything, and some people act like you can do that with them, but then on the
When
back
the time
end,
comes,
they're like, well, I listen to you when you talk. You said this and this and this and that. I'm like, girl, I even forgot what I said. Like, why are you thinking so deeply into this stuff?
Right.
Because I just, I speak my mind, I say it here and now, and I'm gone, like done with it,
Right.
You want people that can receive you on the same level. You don't want to be walking on eggshells around people. Like, if I cannot be myself around you as a friend,
then what's the point? Yeah, I totally agree with that. And that also brings up a good point. And that's also part of the vetting process too.
Right.
Like, we wanted people that, like, listen, you give me advice. And then, like, there's times in certain stuff you say, Ebony, you advise me, let me advise you. Like, that's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
Like, it doesn't have to be, I'm the one that does all of this, and then she's the one that, like, our lanes intersect all the time. Like, when I need advice, she has so many years of marriage under her belt. So when I need advice about a male or a friend or whatever it is, I come to her and, we exchange that kind of stuff. Now, I'm really rigid when it comes to the men and the stuff that they're doing. So I lean on her for my softer approach, because she has one. She be like, well, Ebony, just do it like this, and then you might get a better result with that. I'm like, what, you right. So we lean on one another. And also what I absolutely I love about Winnie is that she's very much in her soft girl, her feminine energy, and I kind of feed off of that. Like, when she talks about her husband and she talks about the children, she's very much in her soft and her, we like to call it our pink and white energy. She's very much in her pink and white energy, and I look at that, and then, like, I'm like looking at her and her family. I'm like, oh, they're just so cute, but they young, child. I'm like, thank God I ain't got no young children, honey.
But you know what, though, Ebony, you have done amazing, and I just ask you, how'd you do it with your daughter? Your two boys. Like, you've done amazing for yourself, and even though I have many years of marriage and whatnot, I also learn a lot from you.
Oh,
and excuse me, I come to you all the time for advice when it comes to marriage, even though you're not married.
Right.
And everybody needs that voice of reasoning,
Right.
at every point in their life. Like Ebony, I could call Ebony and vent. Anybody who knows me knows that I vent forever, like nonstop. You need a friend that's ready to listen, okay? Ebony calls me and she said, recently you called me and you said, is it a good time? It was not a good time, girl. It was not a good time. But I was like, you know what? Am I going to tell my friend that it's not a good time when I can sense in her voice that she really wants to talk in this moment? So I said, yeah, it's a good time. Let's talk.
I kind of felt that.
Do you remember?
Because I asked you twice. I kind of felt it because the answer came
Girl.
a little slow. But I'm like, she grown. I'm going to go with it. I need to get this off.
Yeah, but I composed myself because I know it's not every day that she calls me at that time wanting to talk. Right. And this is what friendship is about, y'all. This is what friendship is. It should never be one-sided. If you're in a kind of friendship that's one-sided, you're the one that's always giving. And I don't mean giving financially, but emotionally, support and everything, and the other person is not reciprocating it. You need to check it because sometimes it might not always be the case, but sometimes you might be taken advantage of.
Yeah. You have there are some, friendships you need to be mindful of where they just emotionally dumping on you. Like they don't even ask, is it a good time? They're just like, hey girl, this is what's going on. Not keeping, not really asking like, hey, what's going on with you? What is it that you need? What is it that I can do for you? And I like to often put it in perspective and say, you're not only like looking for friendships or dating within your means. And when a lot of times when we discuss means, people talk about finances, but have friends within your emotional capabilities. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or people that, are a little bit more emotionally intelligent than you. True. Because as friendships, you don't always want to be, I don't ever want to be the smartest friend in the room or the rock of the friend group, all the time. Like, I want to be able to pull from you. You should be able to pull from me. That's balance. Balance within the friendship. And that's what it's about. So I absolutely love that about her. Like I can call her and we can talk about it and we vent to one another. I think that's what friendship is for. There is not a time that I have reached out to this amazing woman and she has ever like shunned me or made me feel shameful about what it is that I could be experiencing, or if I'm trying to process through something, there's never a time that she's made me feel like, oh girl, you're not too smart today. Like because some friendships I've witnessed and I've heard, like sometimes, there's not enough grace shown. Like, for example, oh, you a better woman than me. Oh, I would never, or whatever, those kind of terms. And that can make your friend not want to be as vulnerable or be as open with you when you're talking to them like that. Like being who we are as people is not easy to be vulnerable. It's not easy to show a side of you that is soft and sensitive, because sometimes no matter, whatever your previous relationships or any other kind of trauma you could have experienced, like, you could be told, oh, you being too sensitive or stuff like that. So being vulnerable with people is maybe not the easiest thing for some of us. So it's great that when you go out and you are intentional about finding friends, that you can find someone that you can connect with and you can get those things from them. Because we all need somebody that we can decompress with.
And not like you said, not somebody that shuns you, somebody that they want you to listen when they need you, but then when it's time for you to talk, like either they're busy, they gotta go, or something. Yeah, like it happens balance. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I already know. I may entertain you, but I already know, girl, you're not my friend.
Right. So let's say this: so let me ask you this. So when you you searching for people on Bumble, did you ever meet up with anybody else?
No.
What happened?
No, because the first girl, she was the one that I think she was looking for a real girlfriend, like a girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
And so with you, I was like, So when that happened, I was like, should I leave or not? But I said, okay, let me wait around a little bit and see. Maybe I might. And then I found you, and I said, well, okay. I never really paid attention to Bumble again.
Okay,
So that's
same
what
here.
happened.
I hadn't been back on there. I think I met like I connected with like maybe like 5 or 6 ladies, right? Connected with 5 or 6. I hung out with 3. You of course were one, and 2 other young ladies, really nice women. I think one was a little preoccupied. You know, her father was ailing. So, you know, I don't think she really could invest in the friendship that much. I would check on her, you know, ask how you were doing, how your dad was. You know, sometimes I would get a response, sometimes I would get a response, or sometimes I wouldn't. So I put that to bed, just as, you know, she just was just busy, and it's a rough patch for her or whatever. And I definitely wanted to be there for her, but you can only reciprocate what's given. You know what I'm saying? You can only reciprocate what's given.
That's true.
Another young lady, really, really, really beautiful, really nice young lady. We went out to lunch. She had a birthday party. I hung out with some of her and her friends.
Right.
They were really nice, really great energy, but I mean, it just kind of like it fizzled out. Maybe I wasn't, you know, maybe I didn't fit into that either. Right. But both of them, if they ever came back around again and wanted to hang out or something like that, I would definitely hang out with them or whatever. But, you know, I was just really, during that time, I feel like, you know, God was like, she good. This is your girl. This is your bestie right now. This your bestie.
I'm bestie.
You Bumble bestie. You Bumble bestie.
Bumble bestie.
You Bumble bestie.
Okay, girl.
You more than that. Come on now. You sit next to me on this couch. Don't do that. You sold my girl. You got all my financial information. Come on now. Yeah. So, you know, I think during that period of time, it was like, okay, this is what you set out to do this, and this is what you did. Maybe you didn't come, in my mind, I wanted to come away with like 5, 6, you know, best friends, but that didn't happen, and that's perfectly okay, because at the end of the day,
good one.
Quality. And, you know, you definitely exhibit and exude that. So I was just great. Thank you so much. I was just really grateful. So I would just say we're going to bring the episode to a close, but we just wanted to come on here and just discuss friendships. Just wanted to come on here and discuss, like, you know, you vet your friends. You can just really, you know, don't let one little turn off or one little awkward moment deter you from meeting people, because you know, it could really be an amazing friendship. I just want to say thanks again. Please follow, like, and subscribe. I'm on platforms The Fly Aunt, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And Winifred, let the people know where they can find you.
Oh, well, like I always say, I'm on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, at Winifred Opare. Not a lot of Winifred Opares out here, so just type my name in and you got it.
All right. So thank you so much for joining another episode of Conversations with the Fly Aunt. Till the next episode. Bye-bye.